right. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. How are we doing today? Excellent, excellent. I'm going to revisit a message that was probably one of the first messages that I gave when I was given the honor of coming to speak before everyone here. I'm going to need a little help. I'm going to need a timekeeper. And the reason why I need a timekeeper is because I may get a little passionate about this, and I may overgo my time.
How much time are you wanting?
Let me know when 15 comes, and I'll end by 20.
Okay,
Does that work?
I can do that.
I got a reliable timekeeper up here, don't I?
As my husband will tell you.
Yes, I know. I've seen you in action.
I can do this real quick.
Start. Go ahead and start it.
Start it.
All right. So anybody that's heard me speak before, they know that my focus is something called the kingdom, because Yah does have a kingdom, and He is a king. And a lot of times we will forget that focus, and if we don't think about it the right way, it can cause us to maybe do some things that are not right. He is a king. He is our king. All right. So just revisiting this a little bit, the first verse first set of scripture that I'm going to be going to, I'm going to be reading from the TS 2009, is going to be the first part of Matthew chapter 17. So if anybody wants to go there, you're more than welcome. We live in a time when many things are called gospel. That word is an English word that has been taken from the Greek, but in Hebrew it's Besorah. Okay, it's good news. It's a message. If the source of our good news is not Yeshua, the Messiah, the Son of Yahweh, we have a problem. You know, you can call it gospel music if you want to. You know, there's a lot of things that have that particular tag on it, but I'm letting you know now, if the thing that you call gospel isn't from Him, you got the wrong gospel. All right, I'm going to kind of start there. So let's go to Matthew chapter 17. I'm going to read verses 1 through 6. And after 6 days, Yeshua took Kepha and Yaakov and Yohanan, his brother, and brought them up on a high mountain by themselves. So it's 3 people and Yeshua. All right? Inner circle here.
You ever wondered why it was Peter, James, and John? It was always Peter, James, and John. Why was it always Peter, James, and John?
Tell me.
I don't know.
I think these were the ones who actually listened to him. That took everything he said to heart.
Waved his hand when he turned around.
That's right. That's right. They actually listened. And he was transformed before them, and his face shone like the sun, and his garments became white as light. Now, I wasn't going to do this originally, but I think it's important that we read the verse before this to get the context. Because a lot of people, because it's in another chapter, you know, these chapter and verse designations were not originally there. And sometimes they trip us up. Okay? So, Yeshua speaking, it says, I'm going to start verse 28 of chapter 16. For what is a man profited if he gains all the world and loses his own life? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his life? The son of Adam. So this is the TS. This is the son of man, son of Edom. A lot of people don't realize it's the same phrase. Is going to come in the esteem of his father. Another way of saying that is his glory. Okay, of his father, with his messengers, the angels, and then he shall reward each according to his works. Truly, now this is the Messiah speaking. Truly I say to you, there are some standing here who shall not taste death until at all until they see the Son of Adam coming in his reign. Then he's up on the mountain and he starts to shine. A lot of people assume that this is talking about something to happen in the far future from now. I want you to know that this happened in the next chapter. Okay, so if there's somebody waiting for something, you're waiting for nothing, because the kingdom has already come, and it's come through the Son of Yahweh. All right, I'm going to finish reading at verse 3 in chapter 17. Chapter 2. And he was transformed before them, and his face shone like the sun, and his garments became as white as light. And see, Moshe and Elihu appeared to him, talking with him. And Kepha answered and said, Yeshua, Master, it is good for us to be here. If you wish, let us make here 3 booths, one for you, one for Moshe, and one for Elihu. That's what a good Hebrew boy would say. He knows that he lives according to the Torah and the prophets. And now Messiah has come. We need to set up 3 booths. This is a magnanimous occasion. We need to set up an altar. We need to make sacrifices. We need to do all kinds of stuff. But there's a break here. And while he was still speaking, so correction came pretty quick. While he was still speaking, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and see, a voice came out of the cloud saying, This is my Son, the beloved, in whom I did delight. Hear him. When the taught ones heard, they fell on their faces and were much afraid. Sometimes we think we're doing real good stuff for Yah. Give it a second and see if he has to say anything about it first. Now, I got to stop here. You know, I would like to go further, but I need to set something. We have Yahweh sovereignly speaking out of heaven, stopping action on earth and saying, This is my Son, my beloved one. Hear him. I want to stop right now and say, if we don't have this in agreement, we have no case for fellowship. Anybody who you come in contact, if you can't agree on this, you have no agreement. There is one creator. There is one Son of that creator. And he is the only one that we have, other than himself, that he has given us to listen to. Without limit. Period. If you don't agree with that, we can't go any further. Is everybody in on that? How do you feel? Talk to me. Are we there? All right. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. You know, because in Hebrew, you know, there's a term called Shema. You know, we hear it in the part of Torah where it says, Hear, O Israel. Well, that word "hear" is Shema in Hebrew. And that word doesn't mean to just have a pulse going through your ear. It means understand and do. You know, when I had the fortunate circumstance of being raised by my grandmother for a while when I was younger. And she would say, Are you hearing me, boy? Yeah. Because I wasn't moving. If you heard me, then why aren't you doing something? Are we hearing him? If we're hearing him, well, why aren't we doing anything? That proves you heard. All right. So, one of the things that I've learned so far in this walk, and I'm not that old. I'm old enough to supposedly have some sense. I got some gray hairs on top of my head now. I'm supposed to have some sense. And one of the things that I've learned about this hearing is that Yah will give you the opportunity to hear what he has to say. He's good like that. And then the testing comes. He'll let you hear, but he wants to prove you too. That's the way he does it. So in my life, when I've heard him, and he'll make sure I heard him, okay, he'll get my attention. He will let famine come and see if I'll still serve him. And then he'll let feasting come, because that's even a bigger test. If you can serve him while the coffers are full, when you're poor and you have nothing, and you say, in the old time at the church I used to go to, when you got nothing else, Jesus is all you need. Well, he'll prove that. He'll take everything away and see if he's good enough for you. But even more than that, he'll give you plenty. And then he'll see if you still serve him too. He will use your enemies to come against you to see if you'll still serve him. And then there's a greater challenge that comes. He'll send the people you love and see if you'll still serve him when they go against you too. This is a part of the road that we live on. It's a path. It's not an easy path either. If any of this information is coming to you as new information, I apologize to every other person you ever heard talk to you before me. But anybody who's lived it a while, you know what I'm talking about. You've seen it. You've been there. Anybody, give me just anybody, show me your hands if what I've just said, you've lived life long enough to see that as true. Just let me know. And we've talked about it. So I know you know. So in hearing him, he says he's going to prove you whether or not you love him. And that's all it's about. Do you love me? And the problem with his kind of love is that it is the toughest love that I've ever met in my life. Oh, but is it good? There's nothing better. And when we come into this walk and into this life, I'd like everybody to go to Matthew chapter 13. Matthew chapter 13. Same book, different chapter. What I just about to go into was one of the parables, but there's another parable that I believe he wants you to hear today. Let's see. All right, this is chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 44. There's two parables here. So this is all kingdom reference. 13. You said 13?
No,
15. All right. Yeah, I'm going with these two. And again, the reign of the heavens is like treasure hid in a field, which a man having found it, hid, and for joy over it goes and sells all that he has to buy that field. Verse 45, and again, the reign of the heavens. So we talk about the kingdom of Yah. Is like a man, a merchant seeking fine pearls, who, when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it. So we got two very similar verses here, but there's a critical difference between the two. The first one, the reign of the heavens is like a man. This is any man. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter who he is. He looked up on a field and found a chest full of silver and gold and diamonds and jewels, and being just a common man, he knew this was valuable stuff. And he knew that the stuff that he found had more value and worth than what he already had. So he was willing to give it up. All right? Verse 45 is a little different. This was a merchant man. This was a man who transacted business. He knew the value of the pearls that he was dealing with. He had years of experience in being able to grade them. You know, like you ever see the people with the diamonds, they get the little thing, and they're looking at it, and they're trying to see occlusions and facets and all this other kind of stuff. Well, he was that kind of guy. He knew what he was looking at. Who, when he found one pearl of great price, went and sold all he had and bought that one. It's sad when people find the land with the treasure on it and still pass it by. It's sad. It's sad that when you have walked with Yah for a little while and you come to know and to be able to see and understand the value that he has and walk away from it. I'm going to end with this, and I'm not even going to go to the verse. You know, Yeshua talks about there being a way that is narrow, and how few there be that find it. I'm here to tell you that the saddest part is the ones that find it and don't stay on it. Yahweh.